Garrys Mod is the home to some of the most iconic game modes ever created, or it used to be. Nowadays, there seems to be less and less people playing these modes, despite the game still having an average player count of over 30,000 users. So, today I wanted to take a look at some of the old game modes and delve into what made them lose their popularity and what they've inspired today. Kicking off the list, I wanted to start with Murder. A brief rundown of this game is you start with one murderer, one detective, and the other players are all bystanders. Detectives spawn in with a gun, while the murderer has a knife. The objective for the murderer is to kill everyone without getting found out, while the detective and bystanders have to work together to find out who the murderer is. A key way this mode gained such a big following is for YouTubers like Markiplier, CNanas, and the Yogscast, all making videos which attracted millions of views back in the day. However, this mode hasn't held up all that well against the test of time, and the player count has slowly dwindled over the years. Recently, I tried to find a server hosted Murder, and there weren't too many options, with only 36 players across 56 servers in total. A key note to mention is that the majority of these servers were completely empty, probably because the hosts just forgot that they were paying for it and left it running. But everybody knows how eerie Garry's Mod servers can be when you're all alone on them. Obviously, I'm not saying this game mode is dead and nobody should play it. It's probably still quite fun if you can gather a group of people together and locally host your own server, but right now it's looking more and more likely that this is becoming a mode best left in the past. Personally, I used to play Murder a lot some years back, but the game is very similar and inferior to Trouble in Terrorist Town, which has a lot more active servers, a big player base, and it always sits at the top of the server browser. One reason I think that this may be is there's a lot more gameplay options in Trouble in Terrorist Town, such as the detectives and traitors being able to buy equipment. Alongside the equipment adding more elements to the game, there's also the player role distribution that forces teamwork a little bit more than Murder does, such as the fact that is one terrorist for every 4 players compared to one murderer working alone. The next reason is quite simply the fact that Trouble in Terrorist Town is built into Garry's Mod itself, but you would have to download Murder from the Steam Workshop. Games like Trouble in Terrorist Town and Murder have went on to inspire games such as Among Us and Secret Neighbor, but people don't really play Secret Neighbor anymore, and unless you're a kid, no one's really playing Among Us either. Next up, another iconic game mode that really solidified itself in Garry's Mod history is Gmod Tower. This mode had it all, from minigames, custom accessories from the store pages, and you can decorate your own living space. It had a thriving community around all of the servers it hosted, and it was so popular that in 2009 it was the reason why the player limit on Garry's Mod servers actually got increased to 128 players as we know today. Gmod Tower servers ran from 2009 up until 2016, and it saw thousands of players logging in daily. But unfortunately, on April 8th, 2016, all of the Gmod Tower servers shut down for good. The reason for this happening was the developers had actually spent the last 7 years working with the source engine and hosting their servers with microtransactions, instead wanted to channel their efforts into something of their own. This is where they announced the game Tower Unite. It was a successor to Gmod Tower, developed in Unreal Engine, and it was published on Steam for a price tag of £16 or $20. However, the problem with Tower Unite was the game just doesn't feel the same as Gmod Tower did for the players that spent countless time and money on the mode back in the early 2010s. Without the customization available through the Steam Workshop, it doesn't feel like the same game that Gmod Tower once was. This resulted in a decline in player count, with an average of only 250 on Tower Unite today. Another part of the reason for the decline in player count was the dislike for the developers of Tower Unite Pixel Tail. Anytime old fans try to remake a Gmod Tower server on Garry's Mod, Pixel Tail will copyright strike their work, since they do actually own a copyright for the name Gmod Tower. Even after Pixel Tail tried to revive Gmod Tower with the 10th anniversary, it never really hit the ground running, being cursed with bugs and error messages, resulting in the reboot servers being completely dead now. Finally, we're moving on to Prop Hunt, one of my favourite game modes on Garrys Mod ever. It was originally created for Counter-Strike Source in 2012, but it is heavily inspired by an earlier mod named Hide and Seek, which took off on Counter-Strike Source sometime after its release in 2004. The mode Prop Hunt was ported over to Garrys Mod by Andrew Fierce. On the Steam Workshop, this is the most downloaded add-on ever, sitting at just over 6 million subscribers. But, just like the other game modes I've spoken about in this video, it follows the same pattern of a player count going down over the years. Due to how simple and fun this mode is, anybody can pick up Garry's Mod, download Counter-Strike Source, download Prop Hunt from the Steam Workshop, and load into a map with friends and have hours of fun. When researching for this video, I found an average of 40 to 50 players across 152 online servers, which wouldn't add up to many active servers at all again. To find out where everyone's went, you just kinda have to look at the games that have come out lately, which include Prop Hunt, such as big titles like Call of Duty, Fortnite, and obviously Roblox has had it for years too. There's also the game Prop Hunt, but yeah, we don't talk about the game Prop Hunt. Unfortunately, Garry's Mod is no longer the frontrunner for the home of Prop Hunt, being overtaken by video game giants. But it's such a shame because I still believe, despite its many bugs, the look of the old source maps and its overall character brings out the best way to thoroughly enjoy Prop Hunt. So, to finish off this video, I just wanted to record a little unscripted part, as this is my first ever video that I'm trying to make. This is purely just a passion project of mine, and I really appreciate it if anybody watches and comments what I could do better next time. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all of the people that have inspired us to do this, such as Richter Overtime, Ratlobber, and Goldeck. I'm big fans of guys' content, and I hope I could be somewhat as big as a YouTuber as them one day. But yeah, thanks for watching.